Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Well, today I think we're going to get through the gamut of some of those emotions today. We're going to be talking about The Karate Kid. The triple review is going to review all three of the original Karate Kid movies, Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3. And we are joined once again, all the way from another state. We are joined by Eddie.
Hey, hello.
Hey, and always good to see you. Always good to see you. And Maury as well.
Hello.
Yeah. Y'all awake?
Sort of, yes.
Somewhat, relatively speaking, yeah.
Yeah, I'm barely. I just woke up 30 minutes ago. It's ridiculous. And and apparently you're all freezing to death.
It's been pretty chilly.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up though. We're gonna be in the 80s again.
Okay. Oh well, there you go. That's good. Yeah, we're starting to warm up where I am currently, but our friends to the south, Florida, they're really hurting and crying like a bunch of babies. But I can sympathize though, because I was just there and it was freaking cold. But we have joining us, we have JT Gunther, who is saying, I just started watching Cobra Kai season 4. Excellent. We love Cobra Kai here at Miss Martin Muses, and I'll have something to say a little bit about Cobra Kai, I think, especially when we're going to be looking at the Karate Kid Part 3. Well, I mean, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I think that Cobra Kai makes the Karate Kid 3 a better movie, if that makes sense. So we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah, 3 needs some help.
Yeah. But in any case, we are going to go ahead and we are going to start with the Karate Kid Part 1. And I didn't know, Maury, did you want to give us a bit of an introduction to the Karate Kid Part 1?
It came out in 1984. It's directed by the Rocky director, John G. Elfstein. Totally ruined the last name. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We're not judgy.
Yeah. And writer Robert Mark Kingman. And stars Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, Elizabeth Shue, Martin Cove, and William Zappa.
And score by Bill Conti.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about his score. I think his score is absolutely
amazing.
Yeah, it's probably one of Bill Conti's best. And then JT Gunter says, we already had that. It said, this is my favorite movie trio. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, we'll be definitely interested to see what you have in your comments. And Jacob is saying hi to me.
Hello, Jacob.
Hello, Jacob.
Eddie, yes, thank you. I'm glad you're always in here. And everyone that's going to be coming here on the rewatch, please, welcome to see you, and like, share, and subscribe. Well, I think all of us are old enough that we saw this movie in the theater, in the cinema, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was a phenomenon. It really was. At least it was for 10-year-old me and all my little friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we used the whole crane kick thing. We'd all be on the playground. Wouldn't you do that? On the playground, everyone was doing that. We'd be in the swimming pool doing the crane kick, and all the lines that Miyagi would do, the whole wax on, wax off.
That was a big one.
Yeah. It was really a thing. It was a huge hit, and it was loads of fun. And as a kid seeing it, you enjoyed it on one level, but as I grew up and I started to understand the layers that were in the first one, especially, I'm thinking about the scenes with Mr. Miyagi when he's remembering his wife.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Just the layers that were in this movie, and the rawness, if you will, that they showed Daniel, the bullying he experienced. It was hard. It was hard to watch. And then the way the mother, as she was watching him being bullied, how she felt, as a grown-up, I was really relating to this. I know Cobra Kai kind of takes on the trope who was the real bully, but I mean, Daniel really was being bullied really hard by the Cobra Kai. There's just all there is to it. But I wanted to start with Maury today. What are your initial thoughts about the Karate Kid?
Differences from back when I first saw it or now?
Anything you want to say about
it? Well, of course, back then, too, you had little cutie pie, Ralph Macchio, and Williams. Everybody's like, oh, they're so cute. You know, all the posters of them. And, of course, going back, as you mature, you see the different layers of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you got Daniel, he lost his dad isn't around, and Mr. Miyagi just comes like a mentor and a father figure for him. And then they become a friendship, and he says Mr. Miyagi's his best friend. So then you have like the age thing where a young teenager can be best friends with an older senior person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you don't have, your best friend. Your friends don't always have to be like the same age you are as kids.
Yeah, that was actually pretty moving. You're right, and but it did become apparent that though he was his friend, and that certainly is the case, he was also a father figure. And when you learn about Miyagi having lost his son in childbirth, that Daniel was the son he never had. But well, Eddie. You were a bit older. Oh, since you're such an old man, you didn't see it as a 10-year-old kid, maybe. But I didn't know.
No, I didn't actually. I was in college, maybe somewhere around there. So, it was a good film. I mean, it was. It's still pretty good. I mean, it's still good. It's got. It's one of those movies that has the energy of a film that was being produced without the idea of there being a sequel. So they went ahead and just dove into everything. And there is some aspects of the cinematography that make it look like it was a little bit low budget ish, but some of that reads well into the story. You have the displaced kid, and he's perfectly aged for that too, which kind of changes as we get into the later sequel. But I thought it was a good film. It's a good story, It brings in a lot of Japanese philosophies and so forth. Once you go back and watch it again, some of Miyagi's philosophies and his approach to existence and to life and such, there's a lot of depth to that too. I enjoyed it. It was good to come back to it. It's probably been great gobbledygook, to 10 years, 15 years since the last time I saw the film. So it was, there were elements of it that I didn't remember. That were good,
Oh wow! Okay, because see, I'm one of those people that I watch this movie probably at least once every year. I mean, I've seen the first one. I've seen it so many times; it's ridiculous. But yeah, you're right, and maybe that's something we'll talk about when we get to the third movie. But it makes more sense when he's a teenage kid in high school.
It does. It does. Yeah. And that's a common. I mean, a lot of folks have had to change schools. A lot of folks have changed jobs, churches, cities, things like that. So it really, it hits a nerve with just about anybody in the audience can relate to that aspect of what's going on. And then there are a lot of kids, and people are hopefully more sensitive today than they were. A new kid in the school, he gets pushed around. You got to find your footing. And that's the way it was. That's not right, but so anybody that's relocated like that can probably relate, at least in some degree, to the, when you call them marginalized and so forth.
Yeah, there was a really good scene in there when Daniel's like, "I just want to go home. I just want to go home."
Yeah.
And then he finally says, "You never even asked me. You never even asked me if I wanted to move."
Yeah. See, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good writing. It's good to throw that that detail in there. You know, that's good information for us to have. It gives the story depth.
Yeah. Well, and not only was the dad not there, the dad had actually passed away too. So there's that level of it as well. It's like that sometimes maybe in some of those movies, like, well, my dad's out there somewhere or something, but no, he tragically died. And so, you know, the mother's trying to live as a widow, trying to raise him as a single person, and then they move out to LA.
Yeah, but you don't learn it till the second one, right? Or did they say that in the first one?
You know, I do not recall. It might have been in the second one.
Yeah, it's Mr. Miyagi's father died.
Yes.
And then Daniel says about, and then when he does say about, you know, Daniel was very young when well, not young, but he was.
Yeah, he was about 8 or so. I mean, he was not. He was old enough to remember him, but young enough that it really.
Right.
Yeah. JT I agree with you, Gunter. Karate Kid 1 is one of the best father-son movies.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Well, and the theme that not only did Mr. Miyagi in many ways save Daniel, but Daniel in many ways saved Mr. Miyagi. You know, give him a mentor. And when he got his driver's license, he gave him a car. So I'm like, wow, good present. But also, just reminding me all the things that Mr. Miyagi probably dreamed of doing with his son and his wife. Wow. I just love this movie on so many different levels. I remember as a kid, it was like, oh, Mr. Miyagi's so funny. He's so funny. And we knew he did karate. But that scene when Daniel's really getting his butt kicked at the Halloween party.
Yeah.
And then you just see Mr. Miyagi just come in and just kick their butts. I just remember how much fun that was. We were all cheering. It was like, yay, Mr. Miyagi. Yeah. Well, and there's really good lines in this movie. I still quote them.
Oh, yeah.
Balance, the quotes about balance. The quotes,
exactly. Yeah.
No such thing as bad student, only bad teacher.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Well, the whole thing with the tree, the bonsai trees, and, you know, just close your eyes and you shape it, all of that. And going back to some of those layers, not only was it with Mr. Miyagi finding out that not only did he lose his wife and son, he lost them in an internment camp while he was off fighting for America, fighting for his country, and he won medals. He's sitting there wearing this medal. Well, the country that he was fighting for interned his wife, and part of the reason why she died and the baby died was because the doctor didn't come. You know, they didn't come in time. Yeah, they just didn't care, and he's just so drunk, which was very jarring because this funny guy, what's he doing getting so stinking drunk? And he keeps talking about his medals and he's saluting, and then he just starts to cry. I think that's people have said that's what earned him his Academy Award nomination.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he should have won it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. JT going through the theory about Danny being the bully is interesting. Yes, and that's why I love Cobra Kai so much, because I think they really did explore that really, really well in the Cobra Kai. But talk about father and son issues. It was also there with Kreese and Johnny, where you could tell that the way Kreese was, those Cobra Kai kids would do anything he said, until during the tournament he started to ask them things that even they were like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's one thing to be a bunch of stupid little punks and their stupid little mopeds or motorcycles, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're like, this grown-ass man is sitting there basically telling them to cripple.
And Johnny's just like looking at him like, you're crazy.
Yeah, it's like, you got a problem with that? He's like, no, sensei. And you look at his eyes and he's like, oh fuck.
I'm not sure about my teacher anymore.
Like, can I leave now? Yeah, that was really cool. But also the layer that they show when Mr. Miyagi walks in and to Cobra Kai with Daniel, you see on the wall his picture from Vietnam.
Right.
So that and they explore that more in the Cobra Kai again.
Yeah.
What it means, how being in Vietnam and his experiences in Vietnam led to his attitude of Cobra Kai.
him being
Strike first, strike
crazy.
hard, no mercy. Well,
Right.
crazy, but also I've had family members that fought in Vietnam, and one thing that they will always say that drove them crazy when they do talk about it is that they were told to go in with one hand tied behind their back. They would be out there in the jungle and they'd be like, Charlie would be firing at them and they'd be like, we need to ask permission before we can fire back. And they lost their friends.
Right.
You know, that was one of the things is that we didn't, they and these men were drafted into Vietnam. So this whole, I'm going to strike first, I'm going to strike hard, and I'm going to show no mercy. That's something very distorted that they got from.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in the Vietnam War setting. The strike first.
Right.
Well, exactly. And so you understand why they're a little bit BS crazy. And
yeah, so he's got like PTSD.
Yeah, he's got issues.
Yeah,
and then
the part. Sorry.
Don't they also kind of address that in the first season? They show Kreese at the what do you call the vet?
VA?
Yeah, like the homeless place, or whatever.
Yes. The VA thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Isn't he supposed to be taking medicine?
It's possible. It was in season 2. I haven't rewatched season 2 in a while, but but yes, they show that. That's why I'm saying Cobra Kai. Everything that makes Cobra Kai it's so good. It makes these
everything
movies
out.
And it makes these movies better. It even makes the crappy movies better.
Yeah, yeah, it fleshes everything out.
Yeah, and the fact that this whole karate tournament dojo thing for him was almost a stand-in for Vietnam.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they go into that with the silver stuff later, So a little bit about the score. Bill Conti did this, and Bill Conti he did the score for Rocky, which is probably one of the other most incredible scores that's out there. And I'm speaking as a John Williams fan. I love John Williams, but I think Bill Conti is a notch above him when you listen to what is actually going on with his music, the complexity of it. And Karate Kid, this score should have won an Academy Award. I don't even know if it was nominated, and that is a crime. The song "You're the Best" was nominated, but I don't believe the score was. This score is so amazing, and the use of the pan flute.
Yes,
and the scene when Daniel is trying to do the crane thing, and then he's in the water and he's balancing, and that theme, da 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 da, and the pan flute is playing it, and there's like a counterpart to it. It just gives me chills every time I listen to it, and the fact that he was also able to put it with the scenery of the movie. Then that theme comes back later as a very big triumphant theme when he does the crane kick, and it's all big, and they have timpani and everything. It's amazing score. Bill Conti is a god, and I love him. He's still with us, but he hasn't done a score in years. So, and they got like this internationally renowned pipe flute player dude to do it as well. So
cool.
Yeah, I forget his name. I should know it, but I don't. Not off the top of my head, and not when I haven't had a lot of sleep. I was up really late last night. OBG70, how's Mr. Miyagi like an onion? Is this a joke, or are you talking about his different layers? Because there are layers. Yeah. Well, also that the stereotype of the wise Asian man is kind of turned on its head, because while he is wise, you're learning that the wisdom he gets is from his life experiences, being a Japanese American, and everything that's happened, and ends up being a handyman in a little, apartment complex, but still has his little dojo area.
Yeah. A beautiful garden.
Oh, yeah. And those cars. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. One more shout out. I love this movie. When he's doing the wax on, wax off, it's such a stereotype now, but the first time you saw this movie, and Daniel's being a little punk. All you're making me do is chores. And then, Mr. Miyagi so far has been kind of a goofy guy. And then he's like, show me wax on, wax off. And he's like, and he's like, and suddenly it's like, dude, this guy's serious. It's like, show me wax on, wax off. And he's like, hey, and starts punching. And he's like, boom. And then he's like, sweep the floor. And then he does this whole big routine and everything. It's like, wow. It totally transforms before our eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, J2 Gunter says Ralph still owns a yellow car. Wow. Hey, I would.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They used it in the
in the Cobra Kai too. You see the backstory of the car.
Oh yeah.
What a Crease's car.
Yes, so they haven't yet come out and said so, but we're all almost positive that that's exactly what it is. Yes, he was driving it in the 60s, back before he went off to Nam. Yes. All right. Well, let's see. I use my Dungeons and Dragons dice for these. Let's see. Okay, Maury, what score do you want to give this?
I'll give it a 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm biased. Yeah, 10. I mean, spoiler alert. This movie's a 10. It shows that you don't even necessarily have to have these high production values of all this money for fancy things if you've got a good story and you got heart.
Yeah.
How about you, Eddie? What are you going to give this movie?
Yeah, for staying power alone, I guess I could give it a 10. The fact that I could actually watch it again and enjoy it and unearth new things. So it was, I'd give it a 10 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I'm giving a score, I always think, is there something that I don't like about this movie? And I really can't say anything. I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing really bad about it.
It's perfect in how they edit it, everything, and as a kid watching these, I use these in my life. Like I'm thinking, am I being balanced? And so good, jolly good movie. Well, we do need to move on. To. This is going to make my life so easy. I just have to change the number. We are going to the Karate Kid Part 2. Woohoo! What can you tell us about the Karate Kid Part 2, Maury?
It came out in 1986. Same director, same writer, and same main actors.
Yeah.
Then you have.
Yeah, and the scenario is right after Danny graduates. Mr. Miyagi finds out that his father is dying, so he's going to go back to Okinawa.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, this working class kid is able to last minute buy a ticket to Japan on an airplane. I'm like,
yeah.
It was his college fund money.
Oh really?
Yeah, he used his college. He used the money he's supposed to be using for college
to buy. To go to.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I'd have kicked his butt if he was my son.
Yeah. Yeah, he used his college fund money to buy his tickets.
Oh my!
Well, and he misuses the money again too later, but that's another story. Another movie. Yeah. What I loved about this is because it gave us a further window into the life of Mr. Miyagi. We find out that he was, in a sense, orphaned from his family because he had to flee after the this whole misunderstanding, honor duel thing about the woman he loved, and so he had to go away, and he's rediscovering his childhood. He's seeing his father again. And gosh darn it, when he's sitting there and you see Mr. Miyagi kind of crying, and you're just like, oh my gosh, my daddy. Yeah. And of course he has to have his stereotypical frothing at the mouth villain we have chosen.
Yeah.
He's always going around going, I'm evil. I want to kick your butt. But classic moments. There's classic moments like when Daniel hits the ice, all those blocks of ice with one hit. That was fun.
Yeah.
A lot of good fight scenes. Well, and even when Chosen like takes off the shirt and he throws it to, gosh, I can never pronounce that lady's name, but the girlfriend, and he's like, you can save that or something. It's just great lines. Yeah. So I don't know, Maury, anything you want to say about this? Like, what's your history with the Karate Kid Part 2?
There's when I saw it the first time. I mean, of course, I didn't really like it as much as the first one, but now you get the more background on Mr. Miyagi, and you get to see Japan, Okinawa, and
the great scenery.
Yeah. And then his best friend Soto, was just so angry that he, taught his nephew like all the wrong lessons about karate.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, Kreese teaching his class. Like,
yes. Yeah, it was a little bit not unrealistic, but it's like they used the same pattern that they had in Karate Kid 1, but just made it Japanese people or people in Okinawa.
Of course, then they added the layer where Soto, he's like this big business person, so he also taught Chosen to cheat in business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
and that
no honor.
Yeah,
like
that
he said.
Mm-hmm.
No integrity.
Yeah. Well, and getting to see Mr. Miyagi get back with his true love and get some, frankly. I remember what was it after they go to, I was like, oh, they're falling in love again, and then the next morning you see him come out and he's wearing like a wife beater kind of shirt thing out. You're like, oh my gosh, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Senior citizen getting some.
Yeah. Yeah. Gunter says 2 has more fighting. Yes, it does. And the villain flipped their script quickly. Well, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. No, but it was nice to see him, get a little bit of happiness in his life. Yeah, Eddie, did you see this in the cinema too?
Yeah, sure did. Mm-hmm. Good film. It was riding on the first one. Like you said, it's essentially the same pattern for the story. You just transplant it. They wisely took the story to another location, so they could pretty much do the same thing again, and it worked really well again. I thought it's starting to feel, though, this screenplay on this one feels like it got, I don't know, it almost feels like they generated a fan base with the first film that was younger than maybe they expected. And so the second film was put together to more focus on that fan base. So they didn't really dive in real deep into stuff. And you have this almost cartoon-like villain that's just, like you said, he's just foaming at the mouth and biting nails in half. That's the old guy. And then you've got a young guy there that's even worse. So it's just sort of over the top-ish, and the emotion is very almost surface. They don't really. They do give you a little bit of backstory, but I just feel like it was not a movie that's necessarily aimed at adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. And I think that goes to Gunter's point about there being more fighting, more karate.
Yeah, just more action and less cerebral, less philosophy and things of that nature, but just more action. He's learned to fight, let him fight.
Yeah.
And too, there's differences between Chosen and Johnny. Johnny, at the end saw Kreese was insane and was questioning his teacher's motives.
Yes.
Chosen didn't see anything wrong with how Soto was doing things.
Even after Soto had himself seen
Yeah.
the error of his
Yeah.
ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the whole fight to the death.
Yeah.
Okay, at the time as a kid, I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're fighting to the death! Oh my gosh!" And look, it's sad. But now I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah, exactly.
And then what does Miyagi says? This no tournament or I forget what is it, the exact word he said.
I don't know if that right.
It's like
this is real life. I mean, this crazy kid is going to kill you. He's going to straight up murder you in front of all these people.
Of course, just because they don't have police.
Yeah.
In Okinawa,
I don't know though. Maybe the more I look at the way humanity has turned out, maybe we should have more fights to the death to solve our problems.
Yeah. I don't know. Now, Putin and Sleepy Joe, I don't know if that would come out on top with that.
Well, I was going to say, well, no, we would want it to be like Game of Thrones where you can choose your champion.
There you go. Choose your champion. Yeah, we got Dwayne Johnson on our side. So,
exactly. Yeah. But their big moment, the big move in this one is that little toy thing.
Oh, the drum thing.
Yeah. And that was cool because at first it's like, oh, this little toy, that's the secret to the karate. And then when you see him
the movement,
it's like that is a badass move. Because it's like you strike and defend it at the same time as you do it. And I don't know how everyone happened to have one of those in their pockets, but you know how they all pull them out at the same time.
They gave them out at the door,
Yeah, it's like a Disney World with all the light things.
Maybe it had like the program on one side of it or something.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they all had one, but that still kind of gives me a little bit of chills. I got to admit, and that serious look that Miyagi gets, and they all. Well, but we all have to talk about.
Oh, Lord.
You knew it was going to come, didn't you?
Oh,
come on. Oh, no. Not Karate Kid 3. Oh, no, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
Not there yet.
Goodness me.
I was like about ready to disown
looking for
both
a bridge
of you.
to jump off of.
I was about ready to disown both of you and tell you to go away and never see me again because I'm about ready to talk about the best love song ever.
The Peter Cetera. Okay.
Peter Cetera. Yeah.
Like a knight in shining armor from a long time ago. Come on. It's a great song. I am a man who will fight for your honor. Oh, it's the best song ever. What? It is. It's a great song.
I know, straight up 80s love ballad.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, but it's great.
Yeah, it is great.
And the way they show it in the movie, they're running along the beach and going to that castle thing, and then of course it changes keys, and I am a man who will fight. And you're like, I'll fight for your honor, Daniel. I will. Yeah. Yeah, like I was about to kick you both from the stream if you were going to groan at that song. That song is amazing.
No, we never
more minutes before Karate Kid 3. Yeah. Well, remember, I will always give you a chance to rate the film before we'll go on to the next one. I'm just sitting here going, my moment is coming. I get to talk about the greatest song ever written. For Karate Kid. So great songs were. From the first one too, but this was a great love ballad, and set in the backdrop of all the Okinawa stuff. It's just It's so cool. And he's gonna fight for my honor. So yeah. Now this one was the most commercially successful of all of them.
Mhm.
This was a huge hit. It had like a budget of like 25. Let's see, that's Karate Kid 3. The budget for this one was 13 million budget, and it made 115 million. So
Whoa.
that was huge hit. And it's the highest grossing one of all three, because I think the first one, I don't know what the first one grossed, but and even the third one, as bad as it is, it made a profit, a modest profit, not a huge profit, but it was theirs. But this one was big because we all had become little fans of the Karate Kid
Mhm.
franchise.
Yeah,
And so
all,
Mhm.
yeah, all the little girls like Ralph Macchio.
Right.
Oh yeah, come on, we were in love with him. Of course, I look at him now and I'm like, gosh, he sounds like he's barely out of puberty. Which is maybe why all us tweens were in love
Yeah,
with
we're
him.
all like, what, 10 to 12?
Yeah. Yes. So we were all in love with this man. Oh, I stand corrected. The first Karate Kid made as it's according to this source, 131 million at the budget of 8 million. So I guess it was not the highest one, but I mean, it obviously made a buttload of money. So the first two were incredible ones. But a lot of hype, and it was a summer movie, and
Mhm.
I was in America at the time, and I was at the mall, and I remember me and my brother went, and it was filled with a bunch of 12-year-olds, that just roamed the street, and we were all cheering and clapping. We thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I remember watching the Glory of Love on MTV in the music video. So it was great.
Mhm.
Yeah, Daisy Gunter says he was 22 in Karate Kid 1 and 2. I know, it's like, really? But he looks like he's, and sounds like he's 14.
He really does.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
It was
he
filmed
was-
back. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
saying
so yeah.
JC Concert. He was 27 in Karate Kid 3, like pushing 30.
Yeah. But he still looked like well, and my brother, when we were watching Cobra Kai, he said he still looks like he's 12. He said he's like 60 years old. But yeah, he's 61 now. Yeah, older than Mr. Miyagi was in these. But yeah, we loved him. I'm sure someone loved Johnny, but I had the crush on Ralph Macchio.
Well, I like both of them. I thought they
Yeah.
were both cute.
Yeah. Both well, in their different ways. It's an interesting casting choice though, because he is so friggin' skinny. And I don't know if that was on purpose, because when he's fighting these guys, because like Chosen, he had all these muscles and stuff, and in the third one, Barnes, and the first one, Johnny, and he looks like you could hit him with a toothpick and he'd fall down. It's
Yeah.
but I would be interested to maybe look that up and see if that's a choice. And like I said, his voice didn't change. It's like, you're still singing soprano, kid. It says Johnny was 18. Oh yeah, so he was about the right age. And so the girl from Karate Kid 3 was 16, 17. Yeah, we're gonna get there 17. And I think that could possibly be why they decided, let's just not have a romance. We all don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
But on several different levels, yeah. But I love Karate Kid 2. That's one that I will watch over and over again. It's still, to me, I give it a 9 out of 10. It still has that feeling of Karate Kid. The spirit is there. And I did feel that there were aspects of the story that they showed that we didn't see in Karate Kid 1. We got to go and see everything from Mr. Miyagi's point of view. We got to visit Mr. Miyagi's world and see where he learned his karate and all that. So I really did.
Yeah, I did like how his ancestor, he's like they discover karate because of sake.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a good story.
Yeah, everything because of liquor. Yeah, always
Yeah.
bring it down to booze.
It's like, yes, totally relatable.
yeah. So let me see. Let me roll for it. Once again, Maury, you're rolling good. Go ahead and get some lottery tickets today. You keep coming up for. What do you think? What is your
my
score?
score, I'll say, yeah, it's a solid 9.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yep.
it's a must see.
Yep.
Anyone that asks me, I'll say you got to see Karate Kid 1 and Karate Kid 2
Mm-hmm.
to get the full story, in my humble
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
How about you, Eddie?
I'll have to give it a 9 as well. I mean, I thought they did a good job of continuing the story, and there was good continuity in the look of the characters and costuming and stuff.
Yeah,
good.
except for the one continuity thing that I noticed on this rewatch.
Oh.
It shows they go downtown.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
They go
okay,
downtown,
yeah.
and Daniel wanted to check out the karate school that Mr. Soto has. And they see Chosen through the window, and Chosen is teaching a class. And so they watch for a little bit, and then they leave, and they go. They're going to
the ice thing. They're going to see to meet Miyagi.
the electronic store or something.
Yeah.
But Daniel notices this bar, and he goes in there. And then, like, Chosen shows up like 5 seconds later in street clothes, like he's been at the bar the whole time when we just saw him at the school. He was teaching a class.
Yeah, so a little.
That was weird.
That was weird. This movie also has probably one of the worst matte shots you'll see in your life when they're together on the beach and they run up to like a cliff that's supposedly overlooking the castle thing down below them. That matte of the castle is so disproportionate. It's a really, really odd shot. I mean, I was like, what is that? Because anyway, that's one thing but that's more of a cinematography, but the matte painting was just really bad.
Yeah. Well, as we said, the budget was not very high. It was 13 million. So yeah, good points. I need to look at that. Probably the thing with Chosen and teaching, and then the bar thing, that maybe because they originally had one of those scenes to be in different parts of the movie. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just really strange.
Or it may have we may have missed the implication that there was more time that had passed. Like maybe they shopped for a while, hung out, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I gave them time for the class to be over.
For the class to end, and maybe
go start a bar fight.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is a Karate Kid 2, and we knew it was coming. And this time, you are allowed to groan without me getting rid of you.
Holy crap.
Well, here we go. Well, I had a few positive things to say, but I'll just bring it over to Maury to tell us about Karate Kid 3.
Karate Kid 3, the money grab. It came out in 1989. And you're introduced with the characters Terry Silva and Mike Barnes, and Kreese's connection to Terry Silva, and kind of the Vietnam thing, that they were in Vietnam together. Mm-hmm. And the plot is straight from Saturday morning cartoons.
Well, that too, yeah. Well, Gunter said you have to talk the good with the bad. Yes, we will take the good with that. We will. Yes. Go on.
And, villains are one-dimensional. Terry just crazy the whole time.
He's such as crazy as eyes. He's like,
no, he's high on cocaine that we learned later in Cobra Kai.
See, that's where Cobra Kai. I told you, Cobra Kai made this a better movie because
I know.
When he watched it, he's like, I was on cocaine the whole time.
I spent half the summer terrorizing a teenage kid because I was high on cocaine.
It's like, it makes sense if you think he's been snorting right before every scene starts. Yeah, but it's so over the top. He's like cackling.
Oh yeah, then he does that. Hi, thing when he's fighting Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. Hey, but that was awesome though when Mr. Miyagi then made fun of him doing
Oh
that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, I think it's a testament to Pat that the actor that he was still good in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he's a veteran actor. You know, he's great.
Yeah, he's like Robert Carlyle.
He can
Yeah.
turn crap into gold.
That's what I was about to say. Like Robert Carlyle once upon a time, he
Yeah,
turns crap into
exactly.
gold.
Turns
Yeah.
crap to gold.
Yeah, Gunter Gracie is better after watching Cobra Kai. Yeah, the whole premise of it. Well, it's a little bit absurd because first of all, aren't they all graduated from high school? So
Exactly,
I didn't
like,
think you could still do that.
I know, like, Daniel is supposed to be going to college. He's like, why can't they just have him in a college situation and then have where he's he's going from having kid problems to adult problems, and he kind of finds out in college that things aren't necessarily just straight good and straight bad. You know, there's
Oh my gosh, Maury.
a gray area.
You just
And
wrote a
then-
better plot for the third movie.
Exactly. And then you can still have Terry come in and Mike Barnes come into it. And you can still have the connection to Kreese. I mean,
Yeah, that would have been awesome. And then like the college karate club thing going on.
yeah, and then Terry still being the big wig rich guy, you know, that has something to do with the college.
Yeah.
Even though Terry's, he is a bad guy, he's doing bad stuff, but with Daniel interfering with whatever could have been, upsetting, someone that benefits from what Terry's doing.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah,
that isn't bad.
That's those are.
I don't know.
Like I said, you just wrote a better plot for it, and
Why
that would have been so good. and then
so everything's not like clear cut, for Daniel.
Put it more into
It's
some
like,
gray
well,
area.
He's like, well, if I bust Terry and Kreese, that's gonna hurt, this person is innocent. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's pretty good. Well, and I think Cobra Kai does a much better job of showing those gray areas, but it wasn't as bad as I recalled it, though, if that makes any sense. And it could be because of Cobra Kai, but I thought they did a pretty decent job of seeing how Daniel was really trying not to engage with Mike Barnes, and found himself not being able to get away from it, basically because you've got two psycho grown-ass men behind it all. When you realize that. I loved it though, because this is the first time we explicitly did get the whole Vietnam connection, and Silver's like, he saved my life in Vietnam more than once. But both of them were, you talk about frothing at the mouth.
Oh my God. Holy crow. I don't know. Somebody left the
Shredder.
They're like somebody left the door open or something, and they got out.
Yeah, they didn't say that.
Holy moly! They should have made the third film. They should have had Daniel graduate and become a cop, and they could call it Karate Cop, and then you go off on a whole new direction.
Karate Cop.
Yeah. Gunter said, I guess it was supposed to be Kreese's revenge movie, but he was not available, so they created Terry. Well, yes and no. He was in this movie.
Well, they sent him to Tahiti, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the hookers.
Yeah, with the hookers.
Minus the hookers part, that actually looked like a pretty awesome thing. He was on this little hut. And
I think they probably just had Martin Cove for like a few days. And they're like, well, I'll just see an increase to Tahiti.
Yeah,
that's where he is.
Yeah, because he was only in 3 scenes, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then we'll get him back, or I guess they filmed everything one time. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, because he was filming a lot of those 80s movies. He He did some movies with Sylvester Stallone, I think. There were
Yeah,
some
he
other
did.
ones.
Yeah, he was doing like tough guy roles on in other movies.
Yeah. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, but I was ready to punch Daniel in the face a few times though when Mr. Miyagi was going, "No, that's your college money."
And the money that he won, what was the money he won from the ice thing?
Mm-hmm.
From you're supposed to use it for college. You use it on a stupid bonsai shop.
I know.
Oh my
Like, but this
gosh.
is your
Idiot.
dream. This is your dream.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I would have murdered him. But on the other hand, I guess because plot, but it was so irresponsible of Daniel to do that. I felt like it wasn't his money to do that with because his mother, you know, his working class mother who worked her butt off, and he blows it on a bonsai shop. And at the end of the day, Mr. Miyagi.
Well, actually, he blew his mother's money on the tickets to Okinawa.
Oh, okay, yeah, that too.
And then-
Oh, gosh, yeah, and there's college. Okay, that was the
And
winning.
then it was the money
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Miyagi got for him for, you know, made Chosen and Soto put up that money for the ice thing.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, we
But
knew
still,
that
I mean,
he was wasting money somewhere, someone
Yeah.
else's money. Yeah.
yeah, it was somebody else's money. I mean, like, he just got that money back for you, dum-dum.
Exactly. Unless they were thinking a little deeper. Hello, Cobra Kai people. Are you listening? That they just realized that college was a waste of money anyways, and Daniel could be a car salesman without going to college.
It made more money. You know, I had to pay anything back.
No
college
student loan.
tuition.
And decided to go into business. Okay, I'm not saying college is obviously a complete waste of money because I would not have been able to do my chosen career without college. But still,
Yeah.
it's you know, not maybe it's not for everybody, but I don't think they were thinking that deep.
No,
Well, but
I don't
especially, yeah, but especially when Miyagi was saying, "Don't do it." It's like, dude, listen to the old man's wishes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But oh well. And the love interest. Do you know any background there about why they chose not to make it a love interest besides my theory about the age, or they just decided not to? It basically just a friend.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
It felt like the only reason she was in there was so she had mountain climbing skills. She could teach him how to rappel down the thing and steal the tree.
Yeah.
And then when they were done stealing the tree, they showed her the door and sent her on her way. You know,
Yeah, pretty much.
Here's your pay. You know, we'll call you.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it. Well, and so that he would have a reason to be in that club, so that he could punch that guy's nose out, because that was kind of his wake up call.
Yeah.
Was when he realized, oh wait, I'm starting to turn into a psycho like this psycho. And oh my gosh, and then when he goes to tell him that, and then Kreese like jumps out and was like, bah. But like I said, if you imagine that they all just got done snorting a big line right before the scene starts, it makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense. Yeah, they were in that back room at the karate.
That's true.
Dojo,
Did come out from
exactly, because they wanted to keep it kid friendly. They didn't want to show the cocaine.
No drug use. So,
okay, Gunter says yes. Ralph. Oh yes, Ralph asked for it because of the age difference in real life. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I
very
thought.
good.
Yeah, thank you for confirming that.
Yeah.
And he was newly married. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is awkward, even if someone is like, well, she was 17, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't even 18. It's like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
And
good call, Ralph. Good call.
Yeah. Well, and I also liked it because, come on, you can't have a
I mean, not
girlfriend
everybody has to be in a romantic relationship. He has to have a girlfriend all the time.
Exactly. Well, especially because he was pretty serious with Kamiko, and then just right away, it's like, oh well, she joined the ballet club, so I guess I'll just find another chick.
Yeah.
Now this actress, she was in loads of things. Teen Witch, that's what it was.
Yes, Teen Witch.
Gosh darn it! I was like, where have I seen that girl before? Okay, yeah, so she was in a lot of those
A lot of 80s
teen movies.
Mhm.
Okay, because gosh, it was killing me. Where have I seen this woman before? So yeah, a character actress from it. But despite the really ridiculous plot and the psycho stuff and all that, there were some really good lines, like that, especially Miyagi was able to pull out a few good moments. Just because again he takes crap and turns it into gold. When he said to Daniel, I use this one, it's okay to lose to an opponent, but not okay to lose to fear. Or some that he yells at him during the fight. That I that's a meme I always post every now and then as my quote of the day, because it's that's a good line. And there were some beautiful moments when they're doing their little karate routine on the mountain, and then that pretty music is playing from the theme from the first movie.
Yeah.
That's always those are some good moments.
Thing.
And oh my gosh, when Daniel is being a little jerk to Mr. Miyagi and like slams the door in his face, and then you see Mr. Miyagi with tears in his eyes.
Oh.
First of all, great acting. Second of all, you made Mr. Miyagi
cry. We're gonna kill you.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man.
I hope Mike Barnes beat your butt.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I was so mad at him. It's like, how dare you, sir? How dare you? Yeah. All right. Jay Gunter says, all right, this has been a fun take. This has been fun to care day job calling. Okay. Well, hey, thank you. Appreciate you being here, JT Gunter, and thank you for helping us out with some of our trivia here. That's great. I appreciate your input, and have a good day. Sorry about day job. Day jobs suck. Yeah. But I guess it's better than a night job. I don't know. Oh, my dad's first job was one of those where you start at 8 and then 8 in the night and 8 to 8 doing that graveyard shift. Yeah, it's
is that whenever you stick the thermometer up rats' butts?
Yeah. That's how you got it. Back in the day when you were in chemistry, that was his job. He had to change the thermometers out of the rats' asses. But someone had to do it. He had to be professional. But that was okay. It sounds terrible, but he said that was the way that you could tell like the purity of stuff. They would like if the rats like got a fever. It was like, oh wait, something's wrong. there's bacteria in here. Nowadays I think they got little strips or something that chemists use. Yeah. But yeah, my dad was a chemist, and that was so anyone that complains about their work is like,
at least
hey,
you know how to stick thermometers up rats'
yeah, in the middle of the night, newly married, leaving your wife at 8 in the night to go shove a thermometer up a rat's butt. You tell me what you'd rather do. Kids these days, they don't know what we had to do. But yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad that we found more humane ways to.
Yeah.
Rats. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is what it is. It was what, the 60s? Yeah. Yeah, that was back in the day when they'd also be smoking in the labs.
Yeah, smoking in the labs, smoking in the hospital.
Here you are, going to the doctor, and
your doctor prefers Marlboros. What the?
Yeah, I gotta have surgery. No, oh gosh, they didn't even use rubber gloves. Oh, it's amazing we all even lived. But we digress.
Which is testimony to how bad the Karate Kid 3 movie was. We were easily diverted off of the topic to talk about rat behinds and plugging thermometers into rats. We'd rather talk about that. Okay, here you go. I guess that's the score.
How many rats' butts do you give this movie? Yeah, but again, I will look at this movie and I will take little pieces of it because there were little pieces of it that
Sure.
were really kind of
Sure.
cool. Well, in the final fight when they're doing the sudden death, and Johnny, whatever the hell his name is, Ralph
Mike
Macchio.
Barnes.
Yeah, no, not Mike Barnes. The damn
hero.
Karate Kid, Daniel. He
Daniel.
goes, yeah, I need more coffee. He goes into that routine, like wah, wah, whatever that routine is, and that actually looked visually it was a cool look. I don't buy though that would have freaked out Barnes.
Not at all. He would have laughed and then kicked the pahoopies out of him.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then like Daniel was afraid of him. Like,
come on.
Like Chosen just literally tried to kill you over the summer, and you weren't afraid of him.
Yeah, he had a fight to the death in Okinawa on an island.
No,
he was gonna break his neck.
And then to steal Miss Miyagi's 1,000-year-old bonsai tree, Daniel would never do that.
No.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Stupid.
That was the one time where Mr. Miyagi should have taken his karate out on Daniel. Like,
Yeah.
I nearly killed your 5,000 million, like 10,000-year-old bonsai. I mean, without permission, even, just the lack of respect. Dumb kid was lucky he was able to save it because I
know. The thing got split.
Yeah, it's like it's like suddenly I understand karate is for death. Yeah. But once again, Cobra Kai made this movie a hell of a lot better because of the background it gets with Silver. First of all, the cocaine, we gotta owe it to them about the cocaine line.
Yeah.
And that shows that Cobra Kai is made by fans. They're like, yeah, he's acting like he's coked out. And they're like, hey,
coked out, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we'll put that in the movie that he was coked out. That's why he was acting like such a frothing at the mouth guy. And then a few of the lines, like I said, a few of the lines were pretty good. And the way it ended, you figured that what was probably going to happen. After that, they're hugging. It says the end. And we know from Cobra Kai that Daniel did go ahead and either went to college or stayed with Miyagi and did the business. And from there, built his business of selling cars and all of that.
Yeah.
And then he was like a grandfather to Samantha. Oh, gosh. Okay, Will Gentry. Oh, hey, Will! Great to see you. Great to see you. Says, of course he was coked out. He was an 80s businessman. Yes. Exactly. Howdy, yes. Coming all the way from across the pond. Hello, howdy, yes.
Howdy.
And smoking cigars. I mean, he was such a stereotype. But I also like the way they had him in Cobra Kai, where at first he seemed like he was kind of reasonable, and then you realize deep down he's still kind of batshit crazy.
Yeah, and then he's hooked on cocaine again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like snorting, but no,
crazy.
Yeah, but good stuff. Good stuff. Overall,
I'm glad we have Cobra Kai, and the actors need
work
are brought back because they need something to actually act to.
Yeah. Well, and the genius of the writers is that they take these kind of crappy storylines and elevate them.
Yeah.
And that they're able to bring back the original actors.
Yes.
I'm almost looking forward to them finding a way to incorporate the fourth one, the one with Hilary Swank.
Oh no.
Well, no, that sucked. That completely sucked. But Hilary Swank is a great actress, and they can turn that into a good story. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do it.
Yeah. With this, the next season, I'm hoping Mike Barnes does show back up.
Oh, he is. The actor.
He already said, very good, very good. I'm glad they got him.
But we figured it was the case because they kind of said so.
Very good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a good interview with the guy that played Mike Barnes on Cobra Kai Theories YouTube channel.
Ah, okay.
Very good one.
All right. Well,
I mean, the actor seems really cool, you know.
oh yeah.
And
Well-
he can, you know, he was hired because he actually is a black belt.
Mhm.
You know, of course, that's why.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could tell
Yeah,
he knew what he was
he's
doing.
yeah, he's definitely trained.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Uh-huh. Will Gentry says, "Oh, he's a very scary, manipulative man, cold and calculating. A very good expansion of a one-note character." Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was playing everyone like violins, same as what they did with John Kreese. He was one note, but they fleshed him out.
Yeah, very
Mhm.
good.
Well, and I guess Will, he has little faith. Left no Hillary Swank. Some things are beyond
Even the writers.
Well, you never know. You never know. All right. Well, I score.
Oh gosh.
I got to give it like a 4. I can't really give it much higher than that.
Well, we fast forward through most of it.
The Russians are here. Darn it. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to give it a score, Maury?
Well, for story, the cartoony story, I'll give it half a rat's butthole.
Okay, yeah, forget it. Rat's butthole. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Rat butthole. So, all right. How about you, Eddie?
You know, we're 1 to 10. Is that what we?
Yeah.
You know, it may be a 2. But I mean, we literally walked. I mean, it's just one of those films that would you want to go to the kitchen for something every 2 minutes. You know?
Yeah. It's like, gee whiz, anyone wants some more beer?
Right. Well,
or liquor or something stronger?
Absolutely. This movie should come with a medal. You should give you some sort of recognition for having viewed it, for having sat through the thing.
Oh, wow, that's harsh. But it's still not so bad that we had to make a pact that we weren't going to tell anyone we saw.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That was the worst movie ever that we had to make the pact. Yeah. Or it should come with its own line of cocaine to make it more tolerable.
Oh man.
Oh
yeah.
God.
I mean, nothing against the actors in this movie.
Oh yeah. The actors. You know,
I mean, they were great.
They didn't write it. They didn't direct it. So.
They didn't write it. And I'm glad they're coming back for Cobra Kai so they can get some. They can actually do some acting.
Redeem the character.
Get some characters.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that Cobra Kai was able to do with Karate Kid 3 was it gave Daniel an opportunity to talk with Sam about his time in Cobra Kai when he said, actually, I was in Cobra Kai for a while. And he explained why and all that. So, once again.
Yeah. And like when they were talking about Cobra Kai, the show, where Daniel and Johnny are at the bar or whatever. And he's explaining what all he did with his prize money and his college fund money. And he's like, well, I opened a bonsai shop. And Johnny's like, why? He's like, don't ask. It's like, I love the little digs. And then Terry has that line where he's like, I was high on cocaine during the 80s. I terrorized a teenage kid for half a summer.
Yeah. I mean, that was, and he went all out too. I mean, all elaborate, got all his servants involved, and that was just, that was some seriously psycho
He's like,
stuff.
I was out of my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, I love how they're giving the characters little jigs of the movie.
Yeah, and done with love. Well, okay, well, we need to wrap up this party. As always, a great time. I love talking about these movies and reviewing them. And eventually I'm going to be doing a Cobra Kai season 4 stream sometime. I don't know when. Is it? Yeah. Just a general one, not a triple review or anything, or do a triple review plus 1. make it a quadruple review. I don't know. But thank you, Keck44, for being here and modding for me. Thank you, Will. Gunter, you were here. Great contributions, and everyone else that popped in to say hi. I appreciate you. The new Dark Shadow, thank you for being here. And as always, Maury and Eddie, thank you for joining me in these. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain to skip Karate Kid 3.
Yeah.